We've gotten to go to some incredible places this year, like Romania in January, and just recently we made a dream of mine come true, which was to go and see the Caucasus region, where Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan are seated between Europe and Asia. And if you look at different maps, some maps will tell you that this region is in Europe, some will tell you in Asia, but it's kind of in this in-between land where wine is from, where ancient civilizations were born, where so much culture is from. And I have been dreaming of this area for a while, and we finally got to go. And not only this, but we used an entire month to go and test out what would it be like to work remotely. What would it be like to rent a home, to work during the day, and then to go out and get a car and explore on the weekends. And I would say it was a huge success. And just a warning, you're going to see a lot of wild cats and dogs and even sheep and cows throughout this video. So our first little excursion outside of Tbilisi was to the town of Mkheba, which is actually the ancient capital of the country, and it's where the rivers part, as you can see. And there we went to visit an ancient Orthodox church. We also got to be in Georgia on their national day, their national holiday. And thankfully we were warned beforehand that we would hear rockets flying above head, which, if you can imagine, is a little bit fear-inducing, especially with what was happening across the border near Ukraine. I want to share with you what these kind of fruit sausages are. They are nuts that are wrapped in a kind of grape juice that are sold as a local treat. I think they call it the Georgian Snickers, and they were super delicious. It's finally time for our first car rental, and I actually started snoozing away when Gabe woke me up to hundreds of sheep that were stopping traffic. I mean, large vans and trucks had to stop, and it was really a traffic jam because of all of these sheep. But this is a normal occurrence in Georgia, as well as all the cows that are roaming wild. So beautiful, the drive up there, and especially once we finally made it up to the mountains, the so-called Georgian Alps. So we just arrived to the mountain town of Stepantsminda, is that right? And we just checked into it's like an A-frame hotel here, and we have the top floor, and these are the mountains in the back. And they're still snow-capped, they're so beautiful. And so tomorrow we're doing our big hike, which we got Gabby hiking boots for, and it is going to be to the Gurgeti Church. So it's over here. So if you've never had it before, I highly recommend trying out Georgian food. If you live in a decent-sized city, I'm sure that there are a number of Georgian restaurants that serve the food that you see here. My favorite was this eggplant wrapped in a kind of walnut paste. And we also had something called jonjoli, which is a wild herb that is fermented, and it is absolutely amazing. Of course, Georgian food is also really well known for its khachapuri and its dumplings, and we got to try incredible Georgian cuisine in this mountain town that made everything from scratch. The reason why we traveled to this mountain town, which is just under the border to Russia, is because of the Gurgeti Church, one of the most famous establishments in the whole country and unbelievably beautiful. We actually thought that we would be hiking to the church, but little did we know that the church was the starting point for our hike. And it was about late May, early June when we were in Georgia. And so we decided, of course, we could hike with shorts. It's a bit warm. Nothing is going to get any colder than that. But we were very much mistaken when the hike started to get snowy. And on the way back, we were hip deep in snow hiking back to the car. It was worth it though. While we loved our weekend excursions, we also loved coming home to our little abode in Tbilisi to work, to live, to have day-to-day life, to enjoy what it's like to be a local in Georgia. On the following weekend, we decided to go, this time instead of going north, we decided to go east, which is the wine country. And a first recommendation we got was to visit a man named Gabriel, who is a monk and a carpenter and a winemaker. And he doesn't normally even open up his cellar for tours, but we got a recommendation and got to go visit his wine and, of course, bring some home. When we finally got to the more tourist-saturated part of the wine country, we found an incredible little bed and breakfast with a garden and a woman who made her own quince jam that, of course, I took home as well. We decided to not stop short on our hiking excursions and had another all-day super challenging hike through rivers where we had to take off our boots to wade on the rocky waters and finally made it to a waterfall. That was an incredible day, and not to mention that evening we went to another winery, and this is the grandpa of the winemaker, and we got to enjoy his gardens, taste his fruit, and we were invited to a private party that evening, which consisted of 15 Belarusian software engineers who were having dinner on the property. One of the guys there made a really memorable statement about his home country, Belarus, and what it's like trying to find work there. He said that people are leaving, and then he jokingly said, "The last person to leave Belarus, remember to turn off the lights." I thought that was such a powerful statement. I left Georgia with a mixed feeling of desperately wanting to return soon, but also the feeling that how many more places on earth must there be that are just waiting to gift us incredible moments with people, an understanding of other cultures, an understanding of different ways of life, that the way that we do things are not the only way. So I'm so thankful for our time here, and I'm thankful that it's proven that we can travel and work well. We sometimes even work better because we're in a new environment, we're challenged, we're inspired, and I'm so excited for what the next chapter will lead us into and the new places that we'll continue to see. Thank you, Georgia, for just the best time we could have ever had.